Well, hello, dear students. Uh, Today we are going to start with Introduction to Java and BlueJ Part 2. Students, in this lecture, we are going to talk about two very important concepts of object oriented programming, that is, objects and classes. Objects and classes. So, today we'll learn what is an object in object oriented programming, and then what does this class means. Okay, so before starting with this, let me quickly rewind what you have studied till now. Okay, what you studied about the object oriented programming in the previous lecture. In the previous lecture you studied that object oriented programming, okay, or OOP, object oriented programming, is an art of separating the program into number of objects. Okay, so this is what you studied in the previous lecture, and today we will talk about these objects only. What are these objects? Okay, now so object oriented programming is the art of separating program into number of objects, that is self contained application components. That means small components of a software or an application. Okay, now these objects, they work together in order to complete a particular tasks. Okay, so let us see what exactly these objects are. Okay, so what is an object? Okay, objects are the real world entities or items. Okay, real world entities, okay, or things. Okay, real world things. Okay, now objects, they can be either non-living entities or non-living things, such as a pen. So this pen, okay, this pen is a non-living entity, or this pen is a object. This pen is a object. Okay, in the same manner, students, other non-living entities can be a book. This book is also an object. The book that you have is also an object in this real world. The table, the chair you're sitting on, okay, all these are objects in the real world. The car, a car is an object, a scooter is an object, a calculator, a mobile phone is an object. Okay, and the computer, okay, a computer is also an object. Okay, or they are the living entities. Okay, now what about living entities? They obviously, computer is not a living entity. Now what about living entities? We talked about the non-living entities. Okay, so living entities are also objects. Okay, like a dog is a living entity, but dog is also a real world object. Okay, similarly a cat, a plant, all these are also real world objects. So what are objects? Objects are the real world entities or items. Okay, now objects can be either non-living entities or they can be living entities. Now example you already know. Okay, now every individual can also be considered as an object. That means object oriented programming considers every individual also as an object. What is the meaning of this individual? Individual means a person. Like you are a person. Me, I am a person, right? I am also an object in this real world. Okay, so according to the concepts of object oriented programming, okay, an individual or a person is also considered as an object. Okay, now see students, real world objects. Okay, right now we talked about real world objects. We saw different examples of living and non-living objects. Okay, both are real world objects. Okay, these real world objects have two characteristics. Okay, they have a state and they have a behavior. Now you'll ask me, so what is this state, what is this behavior? Let us discuss that. Don't worry, it is very easy. Okay, so all the real world objects have these two important characteristics which are a state and a behavior. Let's talk about them. For example, let's take an example of a pen. Okay, a pen is a real world object. Just now we defined and what is an object. A pen is a real world object, right? Okay, so a pen as an object, for example, see this pen. Okay, this is a pen, this is a real world object. Okay, this is a non-living entity, but still it is a real world object. Okay, now what about its state and behavior? Because all the objects, they have state and behavior, right? They have these two important characteristics called as state and behavior. So what about its state and behavior? So this pen as an object, has its state. What is state? Such as the brand name. What is the brand name of this particular pen? The brand name is written Rorito, right? So the brand name, okay, this Rorito is the state of this pen. In the same manner, this model, what is the model of this particular pen? The model is Terramax, Rorito's Terramax, right? So Terramax is also a state of this particular pen. Color, what is the color of this object or the of this pen object? It is blue. Suppose it is blue. Okay, so this blue is a state. Okay, and same manner price. Suppose it is costing 50 rupees. So this 50 is also state of this particular object. Now you will say, sir, this object has so many states. Yes. Why it has so many states? Because see students, all these things, brand name, model, color, price, all these things are called as attributes of an object. Attributes of an object. Now in the previous class, when you were studying HTML programming, that time I had clearly made you understand what is the meaning of this word attribute. Attribute means the characteristics of something. Okay, or properties of some object. Okay, for example, if we talk about a person as an object, a person's height is the attribute of that person. Okay, a person's height, a person's weight, a person's name. A student, we are talking about a student object, then the name of the student, roll number of the student, all these are attributes of the students. So an object has these three things. It has attribute, it has state, and it has behavior. Now what is attribute? Attributes are the properties of that particular object. Like for example, if we talk about this pen object, okay, this pen object, the attribute can be the brand name. Now this brand name has a value, na? This Rorito is the value of this brand name only. Yes. If I ask you what is your age, okay, so age is your attribute. But if you answer me that sir, my age is 13 years, so that 13 is the value of this attribute. That value of the attribute is called as state. Okay, so these things are different attributes of the object pen. Okay, so this pen has the attribute called as brand name, whose value or state is Rorito. Then what is the value of the attribute model? It is Terramax. Okay, now what is the value of the attribute color? It is blue. Okay, and what is the attribute of the what is the value of the attribute price? It is 50. Okay, now students, the objects also have something called as behavior. The objects have behavior also. Okay, what is the behavior? Behavior means the functions. Behavior means the function. Okay, what are the functions that particular object can perform? Okay, like with the help of this pen, okay, or this pen is used for writing, for drawing, and many other purposes. Okay, so any object has two important characteristics. Actually it has three. It has attribute, it has trait, and it has behavior. So in object oriented programming also, our objects have these three important characteristics, that is attribute, state and behavior. Okay, so every object in this world, you pick out any object, they are going to have these three things. You pick out any object. Okay, so now see, this is object pen 1. In the same manner, can you say that this is the only pen in the world? No, there are many pens like these only, right? There are many pens like these only in this world. For example, if I talk about a second pen object, it will also have an attribute, it will also have a state, it will also have behavior. Okay, suppose there is one more pen, okay, like this only. Okay, so what is the brand name? What is the value of the attribute brand name? Again Rorito. Okay, you will say, sir, it's same like this. Okay, fine. What about the model? The model is Terramax. That's also same. But what is the difference? The color. Maybe the color of that object might be different. Suppose it can be red, black, green or any other color. Okay. So this attribute or this state is differentiating this object from this object. Now you'll say, sir, I have a doubt, because sir, there can be many Rorito Terramax pens which are blue in color. Okay, yeah, they might be, but they might have some unique characteristic in them. It might be that they have a specific model number or registration number or product number. Okay, so there will always be an attribute whose state will be different. So different objects may have same attributes and same behavior, but at least they might have one distinguishing state. There many states might be same, but they will have at least one distinguishing state. Okay, so what is attribute? Attribute is the property of any object. Okay, different properties of any objects. Okay, the state is the values that are held by the attributes of that object. Okay, and the behavior is the functions that particular objects will show. I hope this is clear. Now, in the same manner, students, let's consider another example of an object. For example, a car. Okay, let's take an example of a car. A car is also a real world object. Okay, the car is also a real world object. Okay, so when we describe a car as an object, okay, there are number of physical factors which contribute to define its state. Okay, that means there are many physical attributes of the car that can help us to define its state, such as the brand name of the car. What is brand name of the car? It is the attribute of the car. Okay, then what is the color? Color is also attribute. Speed, maximum speed, minimum speed, that is also attribute of that particular car. Size, again attribute of the car. And number of seats in the car, attribute. Now in the same manner, this car will have many other attributes, and each attribute will have a certain value which is called as states. And this is how in object oriented programming we define the different objects. Okay, by defining its state, its attribute, then giving a value to that attribute, and finally then giving some functions to it. Okay, now in addition to all these things, the car has several functional definitions. Okay, example, it transports people to different locations by controlling its speed and direction. So transporting people is a function. Yes, it is a behavior. Okay, controlling the speed is a behavior. Controlling the direction, changing the direction is also a behavior. an accelerator to increase the speed or decrease the speed. So increasing and decreasing of speed is also a behavior. Using brakes to stop it, okay, moving the car, accelerating the car or moving the car is a behavior. Applying brake to stop the car is also behavior. So a car has different behaviors also. Okay, so every object in this world has attributes, okay, like these. The attributes hold some value, okay, that those values are called as state. And then an object also has different behaviors associated to it. Okay, now the functions directly control the car's data. That means these functions control this data. If you increase the speed, this will change, the data will change, yes or no? Yes or no? If you change the gear, okay, and if you apply the accelerator, that means if you change this behavior, there will be a change in the speed of the car, right? Okay, so these functions control the car's data, okay, or the state of the car, okay, like the direction, okay, then uh, the speed and different things. Okay, now while traveling in a car, now students, this is a very very important concept. Now while traveling in a car, okay, we do not need to know how these things work. Which things? To stop a car, for example, we just know that we have to press the brake pedal. Okay, so if you have seen in a car that if you want to stop a car, you have to just press this brake pedal, okay, and the car will stop. After some time the car will stop, okay, but you don't need to know how that pedal stops the car. You don't need to look at the specifics of it, that how that brake is or brake pedal is stopping the car. Do you know that? Do you need to know that? No, you don't need to know that. We just know, okay, we just know that it works. We just know that if you press the brake pedal on a moving car, it will stop. How? You may know it, you may not know it. How it is stop, how that brake is stopping the car. Do you know the internal mechanics of a car? No. Does everybody know? No. But the mechanics of the car, they will know. Okay, they will know. But for us, for a simple user of the car, a driver of a car may or may not know how this mechanism works inside. Okay, so all these functions, all these behaviors or functions, and all these data, okay, they work together to define this object which is called as a car. Okay, the functions work the same way for almost all the cars but not for any other object. That means these functions are same. That means other cars in this world also change gear, can also change gear. The other cars can also apply brake. You can apply brake in them also. You can accelerate them, you can turn them right, left, or anyhow. Okay, but these behaviors may are not essential for other objects like television. These behavior does not apply to a television or a washing machine or or a refrigerator. But are these things objects? Yes, these are also objects. So these functions and these states and attributes will define an object car but not these objects. Okay, now this, okay, this clearly tells us that the state determines the properties. That means the state, that means state means what? The values held by the attributes, they determine the properties, the appearance and other qualities of an object. Okay, whereas the behavior describes what the object does. Okay, what this object can do. Okay, for example, this state, okay, will define, okay, this state will define all the properties of this car. if you look at all the states of a car, okay, or all the attributes of a car, then those states are going to determine the properties, the appearance of this car. Okay, if color has a value red, then that is what, that is determining the appearance of this car, right? Okay, and other qualities of this object. Whereas these behaviors, okay, these behaviors, they describe what this object can do. This object can change gear with the help of this object. You can apply brake, you can accelerate this with the help of accelerator, you can turn this object left and right, and so on. Okay, so these behaviors, it, what does it do? It determines all the possible operations that this object can perform. Okay, so this is what it means. Now, in the same manner, software objects, right? Till now we were talking about the real world objects. Now let's talk about the software objects also. Okay, the software objects also have state and behavior and attributes. Okay, the software objects also have attributes, they also have behavior, and they also have states. Okay, software objects, okay, the software objects maintains its state in variables. Now this is a very important line. Software objects maintain its state in variables and implements its behavior through methods. Okay, now let's quickly talk about this software objects. Okay, now students, for example, let's talk about your bank account. Let's talk about a bank account. Okay, so what happens in your bank account if you go in your bank account to, deposit certain money? Okay, what are you going to do? Your bank account will have certain attributes. Okay, your bank account will have certain attributes like name. Suppose a person whose name is XYZ has an account in certain bank. Okay, suppose his account number is 12345. Okay, so this name, what is name? Name is the attribute of that software object bank account. Okay, name is the attribute. What then? Account number is also attribute. Account balance is also attribute. Yes or no? Now what is state? The values held by the name. Suppose what is the name of the person whose bank account it is? XYZ. So that XYZ is the state of the attribute name. Okay, now what is the value of the account number? If the value of account number is 12345, then that 12345 is the state for the attribute account number. Then account balance. Suppose account balance, if account balance is a attribute, then suppose if the account has 1000 rupees, already it has 1000 rupees. Okay, before depositing the money, if suppose that account had 1000 rupees, so that account balance attribute has a state of what? 1000 rupees. Right now it has a state of 1000 rupees. Now the person XYZ, he goes to the bank and he deposits another 500 rupees. Okay, that person himself is an object. Okay, now that person is going to the bank, okay, and he is depositing suppose 500 rupees into his account. Okay, so what will the bank clerk ask him? What is your name? What is your account number? And then that clerk, he will inside his software, bank software, he will fill those things. That means he will fill those states inside the bank software, and then after he gives the 500 rupees to the clerk will deposit 500 rupees. Okay, now this software object bank account also has some behavior like depositing the money. Now that bank clerk is going to deposit the money into the bank account. That depositing is a behavior. Then after depositing, the person will go to an ATM or somewhere or on his phone, he can check the account balance. So that checking of account balance is also a behavior. Okay, and then suppose if that person someday decides to withdraw the money, okay, withdraw the money or remove the money or from his account, so that withdrawal is also a behavior. So what I wanted to teach you through this small example of a bank account is that software objects also have attributes, their state and their behavior. Okay, and these software objects, okay, maintain its state in variables and implements its behavior through methods. Now variables and methods you have not studied till now, but I will give you a simple definition of a variable, okay, and a simple definition of a method. Okay, so what is a variable? A variable is something whose value can change. For example, if that when that person went to the bank, went to the bank, his account balance was 1,000. So if I create a variable, suppose b, okay, suppose b for balance. So what is the value of that variable b right now? It is 1,000. But after depositing the money, after showing a behavior, okay, of depositing the 500 rupees, the value of that b, if we check, it will change to 1,500. Okay, so variables are things, or variables are those things which are something whose values keep on changing, or their value can change throughout the execution of a program. Okay, we will discuss this what is variable in detail when we study some example programs of Java. I will explain you, don't worry, again with the help of example when we will study a simple programs of Java in this chapter. So don't worry about that. For now you just understand that variable is something whose value can change. Okay, variable is something whose value can change in a program. Okay, uh, then actually it's a memory location in a program, but that we'll discuss later on. Right now you just keep in your mind that variables are something whose values can vary or change. Vary means change. Okay, and they implement their behavior through methods. So behavior means what? Showing some function, right? So there are something called as methods which we write in a program. Okay, and through these methods, okay, through these methods, what the behavior is going to take place. Okay, so we will discuss about this later. Okay, we'll study when we study a sample program. Okay, so don't worry about that. Now the features of object oriented programming. Right now we are studying object oriented programming. Okay, so features of object oriented programming, what they do, they help us to organize the program code very elegantly by dividing it into manageable objects. So in object oriented programming, what we are going to do, we are going to take a problem. Okay, we will have a problem. Okay, and then we are going to divide that problem into these manageable entities which are called as objects. Okay, which are very easy to understand and implement, because just now we studied what are objects. Okay, then similarly, each object will contain its own set of variables to store the data. This simply means that each attribute of an object, now object has different attributes, those attributes are going to be represented by variables. Okay, different variables. Okay, so different variables will store different attributes. Okay, will signify different attributes, and these objects will expose their behavior through methods or functions. Okay, now moving on to the next topic, which is very very important. What is a class? Okay, what is a class? I told you we'll discuss two important things in this lecture: what is an object and what is a class. So let's talk about the second most important and very easy concept of object oriented programming. What is a class? Okay, a class represents a group of objects of same kind. Group of objects of same kind. Okay, what is the meaning of this? That means it is a collection of objects which are of same kind. A group of students makes what? Class of students. Yes or no? Now, or in other words, we can say that objects are considered as members of class. Now let us discuss this with the help of an example. A class represents group of objects, these real world objects that we talked about, of same kind. For example, car is an object, bike is an object, bus is an object, truck is an object. What is common between these all things? Aren't these all things vehicles? Yes or no? So we can say that car, bike, bus, truck, etc. are all members of the class vehicle. So class vehicle, and then car is an object belonging to this class vehicle. Bike is an another object which is belonging to this class vehicle. Bus, another object belonging to this class vehicle. Truck, another object which is again belonging to this class vehicle. Okay, so all vehicles, see, all the vehicles that are shown over here have some same properties and common behavior. I'll not say that they have all same properties, but they have some of their properties are same, and they will show some common behavior. Okay, like all these objects have wheels. They have wheels. This has two wheels. Others can have many other wheels, but at least they have wheels now. Okay, so number of wheels can be an attribute of all these objects. Number of wheels, how many number of wheels? 4. Number of wheels, value, state, 2. Okay, number of wheels, this might have 4. Okay, a truck may have 4, 8, 16, and so on. Okay, the big trucks have lots of wheels on them. Okay, so then power, different vehicles have different kind of power in their engine. What type of engine is there? Petrol engine, diesel engine. Okay, and are used for transportation. All these objects are used for transportation. Even if we compare, now this is very important, even if we compare two different cars of the same brand. What is the meaning of this? If we compare two different cars of the same brand, they are also different objects, as they can be differentiated on the basis of registration number. Let's quickly see this with the help of an example. For example, what did we talk about? That two different cars of the same brand. For example, if you consider this Maruti Alto, see, all these three cars are Maruti Alto. Okay, all these three cars are Maruti Alto. Now, students, if you consider this Maruti Alto as a class, okay, because all these objects are belonging to the same class Maruti Alto, okay, then all the models of Maruti Alto, like these models with their different registration numbers, at least they have some state that is different. Okay, with their different registration numbers can be considered as objects. So this is a one object, this is an another object, and this is a another object. But what is the common between these three? That these three belong to the same class, which is called as Maruti Alto. Okay. Similarly, an apple, a banana, an orange are all considered as the objects of the class fruit. Okay, all these are objects of the class fruit. Okay, now a class may be regarded as a blueprint to create objects. Now this is a very, very important line. Now, what is the meaning of the word blueprint? Okay, a blueprint is a design or a plan or a technical drawing. I'll show you how a blueprint looks. See, this is a blueprint. Okay, see, this is a design, right? Or a, technical drawing. Okay, I'll I'll explain you these two paragraphs with the help of a real world example. Don't worry. Okay. Now see, this is a very important line. A class may be regarded as a blueprint to create objects. That means before creating these objects, we need to create a class. Okay, and once we create this class, now we can, after that we can create different objects that belong to this class. Okay, now see, a class may be regarded as a blueprint to create objects. And what is blueprint? What is the meaning of this blueprint? The meaning of blueprint is a design or a plan. I just showed you how a blueprint looks. Okay, now this blueprint or the class defines data and functions common to all the objects of a certain kind. Okay, that means this blueprint is going to define the data, that means all the attributes and their state and their behavior which are common to all these objects. Okay, a class consists of two aspects, variables and functions. Okay, now the variables form the state of an object. See, I told you variables form the state of an object. Actually, we use variables to represent the different attributes of objects, and the state is nothing but the values of those particular attributes. Okay, so variables form the state of an object, and functions of a class use these variables to perform various operations. So the functions that we will define when we will create class, in object oriented programming, first thing we'll do is we'll create a class, and then we will define its variables, and then after defining variables we will define functions, and these functions, they will use these variables, okay, to perform different operations. Thus, functions form the behavior of an object. Okay, so functions form the behavior of an object. Okay, and variables are used to depict the state of an object. Now see, this paragraph is very important. I will explain you this paragraph with the help of a real world example. See, once a class is defined, okay, we can create any number of objects belonging to that class. Once we define a class, we can define any number of objects belonging to that particular class that share common state and behavior. What is the meaning of this? The meaning of this is that once we define this class Maruti Alto, now we can not only create these three objects, but we can create many other objects, but they will look like these only. Okay, their color might be different, their registration numbers might be different, their type of fuel which they use might be different, but they all will belong to this class Maruti Alto. Okay, now once a class is defined, we can create any number of objects belonging to that class. So once we define a class, we can create any number of objects that belong to that class. Okay, now hence a class is known as an object factory. Now this is a very important statement. We have an entire chapter based on this particular line. A class is known as an object factory, or a class is known as a factory that produces similar objects. Okay, in class 9th. Okay, an object belonging to a particular class is called as instance of that class. So an object belonging to a particular class is called as instance of that class. Instance means example. Okay, so for example, banana is a example of the class fruit. Apple is another example of the class fruit. So we can also say that apple is a instance of the class fruit. So an object belonging to a particular class is called as instance of that class. Now let me explain you this particular line. A class is known as a factory that produces similar object. Now see students, look at this very carefully. Now let's talk about the real world. Okay, in real world, suppose you go to a factory. Okay, or if you want to suppose if you have a factory, it's your factory. Okay, it's your factory, suppose. Okay, now suppose you have a factory. So tell me one thing, think about it. Okay, because without thinking you will not understand this. So tell me one thing, that suppose if you have a factory, you have just started a factory. Okay, a factory which create suppose car. Okay, produces cars. Okay, tell me that you'll directly start producing the car or what? No, na. First, you will create a blueprint. Yes or no? First, you will create a blueprint, that this is how, a technical drawing. Okay, that this is how I am going to design my car. Okay, this is how my car is going to look. And once you create this blueprint, then all the other cars, okay, all the other cars that you produce will be based on this design only. Yes or no? So that is why class acts like a blueprint only. Once you create the class, once the class is defined, we can create any number of objects belonging to that class. So once we create this class, see, this class is created. Okay, this is a blueprint of a car in a factory. Okay, now all the other cars, see, their color might be different, but they are looking just like this car only, na. So once a class is defined, once this is defined, once we create the blueprint, because class is nothing but blueprint. So once we define this blueprint, or once we create this blueprint, now we can create any number of objects belonging to this class. And that is why class is called as an object factory, or class is known as a factory that produces similar objects. Okay, so in the real world also this only happens. Suppose if you open a new factory, to produce cars, you will first have to create a blueprint or a technical drawing, and based on this technical drawing, you can now create many other car objects. Okay, so an object belonging to a particular class, now this is an object which is belonging to this class car, this class. Okay, so we can say that this is an example or instance of this class. Okay students, so let's look at all these things together with a very funny example, or a cartoony example. For example, Pokemon is a class. Okay, Pokemon is also a class. Now this Pokemon, this is Pikachu. Okay, so this Pokemon Pikachu, okay, belongs to this class Pokemon, or is an example of this class Pokemon. Now this name is the attribute of this object. So this Pikachu is an object which belongs to this class. The name, type, and this health, these three things are the attributes of this object Pikachu. This Pikachu, the value of this attribute name is the state of this particular object. This electrical state which defines the value of this type attribute, and this 70 is also a value of this attribute. Okay, now this is an object, yes or no? And attacking, dodging, evolving, all these are what? These are the functions or the behaviors that this particular object can perform. Okay, so I hope today I was able to make you understand what is an object, what is a class, what are these attributes, what are methods or functions or behaviors. Okay, and with this I will put an end to this lecture. Okay, now in the next lecture we will talk about the features of object oriented programming, in which we will talk about four important pillars of object oriented programming: abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance and polymorphism. Don't worry, these are very easy concepts. Okay, so I will see you in the next class. Okay, till then you guys take care of yourself and be well. Thank you.